This is verse 7 of the 12th chapter, Gospel of Matthew. Jesus is in a conversation with religious leaders who have been bringing accusations against his disciples for eating, or picking rather, harvesting on the Sabbath grain permitted under the gleaning laws, but on the Sabbath it was viewed as a kind of harvesting and thus a technical infraction. But Jesus now is going to correct the priorities, and in this verse is citing them to an Old Testament text that should have been in their minds to overrule this rather superficial accusation they brought. So Jesus continues, this is the word if. It's used in the indicative and generally in connection with events that take place in the present or in the past. In this case, it means if with conditionality because it's used with the pluperfect here, postpositive. So if egnokete, this is from gnosko, it's the pluperfect now. In English, to translate the pluperfect, we introduce the word had. So if you had known would be the idea. This is the second person plural, pluperfect active indicative. If you had known, te, the interrogative pronoun, esten, from ami, I am, third person singular, present active indicative, what it is, literally. The sense of it is what it means. If you had known what it means, what it stands for, what it is, in terms of the law, then quoting from Hosea chapter 6, eleos. This is the word for mercy. It's in the accusative here. It's the direct object of thelo, I wish or I want. So I want mercy. Of course, the quote is a quote of God speaking. I want mercy. Kai u, the negation. Thusion, the word for sacrifice. So it puts the priority on the compassion of the heart over simple external ceremonial and ritual observances. I desire mercy and not sacrifice. And Jesus says, if you had known what that means, uk, the negation here with on, contracted from aeon, introduces conditionality, would possibly be used with the subjunctive, but even without it, we have here simply the aorist indicative. It still brings this conditional notion in, something like would, you would not have, is the idea. This is kata dikasata. This is from kata dikadzo. Of course, the root of the word is the decay, which means a judgment, even a sentence. Dikaios is a related word that means righteous. The kata, the prefix to it, is down, so the general sense is to judge down, and from that, of course, the notion of condemning. So you would not have condemned. Tous, the accusative plural of the article with anaitius. This is from anaitios. It was used in a previous verse. Aiteo is the root of this, the word for to ask. Out of that is derived the notion of asking as in judging. In other words, asking someone in a way that will prove them guilty. But the on at the beginning of it is the negation, and so it transforms into meaning someone who is righteous or blameless or not worthy of judgment. And so here, if you had known what it is, I want mercy and not sacrifice. You would not have condemned, judged down the blameless ones, is the notion. And Jesus, of course, is rendering his judgment of these religious leaders because of their superficial and rather legalistic frame of reference as they evaluate the behavior of others.